It's recording.
Now it is.
Now it's recording. So everybody, to make sure I have an audience.
Audience.
The importance of music and education. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Ludwig van Beethoven were child prodigies, playing music and composing as early as before some children even begin kindergarten. Mozart composed and performed by age 5, Beethoven by age 7. My own mother started me in piano lessons at the age of Mozart when he performed his first written piece. Beethoven began going deaf in 1801, but furiously composed even after he lost his hearing. Both composers wrote and conducted or performed hundreds of symphonies, piano concertos, operas, and much more before their deaths. With constant practicing, writing, and perfecting scores of music, both are still known today as two of the most influential and genius composers ever known. By looking at their cognitive abilities at such young ages, we see a correlation between them and children learning music today. Children involved with more than listening to music, like piano or guitar lessons, voice instruction, or playing in a school band, show better learning abilities and cognition compared to kids that are not involved in music. Later in development, this is true in adulthood. Later in development is true also. Music is effective through the Mozart effect before and shortly after birth. It can relax the teacher and students in the classroom and help students succeed academically. And music has the power to literally change the brain and how it works in a positive way. Music is effective through the Mozart effect, both before birth and into early childhood. The Mozart effect suggests that during the growing of a fetus in early childhood, music is thought to improve some important motor and cognitive tasks by simply listening to Mozart, Beethoven, and other classical composers. We begin learning and collecting knowledge at a very early age. This includes noticing music. According to an article in the New York Times, 5 months after we are conceived, music begins to capture our attention. Pregnant mothers that trust the Mozart effect put headphones on their pregnant bellies so their soon-to-be baby will be smarter. We attach certain songs and melodies to specific experiences throughout life. We also associate specific songs with events and holidays. Now I'm going to play 2 familiar songs that everyone knows. Everyone knows the first few notes of that song. It's the Star Spangled Banner. This is a Christmas song. It's not a very good version of it. If you know the songs well enough in the Christmas carols, you'll know that that is Silent Night. We attach certain songs and melodies to different experiences, which means we attach them to memories, and near the end of life, you look back, and when you think of songs, you associate it with a certain experience in your life. Not only with listening to music, but learning music in some fashion also improves academics and learning. It changes your brain and boosts broad academic performance. Music taught both inside and outside the school help the teacher mentally and the students advance academically. Music helps teachers and students both with relaxation and a more vigorous application to work. Learning to read music, sing, or play an instrument have all shown better work and retention in young students and all through adulthood. Some younger school-age kids show a higher IQ number than after music lessons than those who do not take music lessons. Psychologist Glenn Schellenbert put together a study in 2004 in which He assigned 114 6-year-olds randomly to take piano lessons, voice lessons, drama classes, and some took nothing at all. After 1 year, the children that did take voice or keyboard lessons had an average of 3-point higher IQ average versus those children with no musical instruction. Though the improvement seems minute, it will grow with more practice and further instruction. Music lessons have also shown positive changes in the brain. Professor Laura Trainer of the University of Toronto says there is evidence that music changes the brain in a positive and permanent way. In studies, practicing and/or music lessons literally change the brain and how it works in a positive way. The brains of practicing musicians tend to work better than those of non-musicians. Dr. Gottfried Schlag, neurologist at Harvard, compared 30 musicians and 30 non-musicians with respect to the placement of sex and age. The corpus callosum was larger and heavier in musicians' brains than in others. The corpus callosum is the portion of the brain in between where it sends messages from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere. Musicians use their thought processes more vividly than non-musicians. Musicians may understand new ideas and new information more quickly than non-musicians and cope more easily, and also adapt to change better. The left and right sides of the brain contain sensory perception and voluntary movement, which is better than in most musicians. Also, the study showed that in those musicians that started instruction before the age of 7, proved that starting earlier can almost rewire the brain. There may never be any childhood prodigies or geniuses like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart or Ludwig van Beethoven. But with the thanks to their hard work as children, we know it is possible to learn and develop your brain better with music and life. Listening to the radio and your iPod is not where the beauty of melodies in your favorite songs originate. The person who wrote that song, and maybe even performed it, was able to do so because someone down the line learned music and wrote the song with their knowledge. Learning, writing, and performing anything musical most definitely exercises the brain and can eventually make one not only more cultured but also smarter.
Hit it.
No, you gotta show everybody again. Are there any questions? No? Okay, thank you.